Welcome back to another episode of the Uncut Truth. You're here with Joshua.
And Josh,
What's going on today?
not much, man. I've just been busy. Mowed some grass, did some yard work, ready to talk some football.
So let's go ahead and jump right into our recap from the NCAA games last week. First topic we're going to jump on is USC loses.
Man, could you believe that? I couldn't believe that, but could you believe that?
I'm still in shock over this.
That was a bad game, man. Darnold looked horrible in that game for him being supposed to be a Heisman front runner all season long, and then potential early first quarterback to go early pick this draft. If he does go, it's like that did not fare well for him at all.
No, he didn't look good in this game again. They ran the ball well. Jones ran the ball like crazy in this game, but he looked bad in this game. As far as for his draft stock, I don't really think this matters because like Matt Ryan and some of the recent Matthew Stafford, even Sam Bradford, I think maybe to a lesser degree had bad senior years or their last years in college and were still high draft picks and have done fine in the NFL. So I'm not afraid of drafting him, but what surprised me the most is how far they fell.
They only fell about nine slots.
They fell to number 14. I thought it was crazy that they lost to the number 16 team and they fell almost to number 16 because it wasn't like they lost to an unranked team. They lost to Washington State, who's undefeated this year. I'm not saying Washington State's any world beaters. Nonetheless, it wasn't like they lost to a bad team necessarily.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of other teams that are way worse, I would say, than USC that didn't drop that far. I mean, like 2 or 3 spots here or there. I mean, Florida State dropped off and they lost their starting quarterback. They only dropped like 3 spots. I mean, come on, man.
Right. Yep. And for example, the Oklahoma State, let's see, where are they at this week? They're number 15 and number 14. And they are actually, that's where they were last week. They didn't move up or down, and they almost lost to Texas Tech.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas Tech played them really close, and they didn't move at all. So, kind of surprising to see that they stayed there, and you saw USC take such a hit. But overall, I don't think this. If USC wins out, they're still going to play in the playoff. I think.
Yeah, I mean, they still have
got
a
a
shot.
shot at winning the South.
Yeah,
right.
they for sure have a shot at winning the South because that was the North, no big deal. I mean, it hurt you in conference, but it doesn't hurt you where it matters, which would be your division. As of right now, they're sitting okay there.
And they could end up getting to play them again this year. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, now it's going to be the Washington State game is going to be huge because they're both ranked pretty high. So whenever that does happen, it's going to come down to whoever wins that one more than likely.
Next, we're going to discuss LSU.
Dude, how do you lose to Troy being LSU? Well, I said they had big wins to start the season and then nothing, man. They've fallen off. I mean, you lost to Mississippi State in dramatic fashion, and then to Troy on your homecoming game. Like that should be an easy win. Typically, you schedule your homecoming games to be easy, but they didn't look good. I mean, they were down 24-7 until around 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So it was, to me, garbage time touchdowns. They were still trying, but they just couldn't do it. Too many turnovers, and I don't think maybe it wasn't. Was it all on Les Miles the downfall of LSU, or is this still on Ed whenever he took over the show? I mean, this does not look good for them at all for being a premier college.
No, it doesn't. In fact, the game was 24-14 until they scored another touchdown with 1 minute and 59 seconds left. Troy led this game they scored with 13 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the first quarter. So 1 minute and 47 seconds into the game, Troy scored their first touchdown. They led the entire game in this one. They led for all but 1 minute and 47 seconds. Isn't that crazy to think about that?
Especially when you think a Group of 5 school compared to Power 5, especially an SEC school, and they just couldn't do it.
I don't know. I don't know where that puts them at. Where do they go from here? But
yeah, their season's done. There's no way they're making any kind of playoff, they'll be lucky to get a bowl game if anything, man. They're not looking good this year at all.
And that's going to bring us to your favorite part of the show.
Yeah, Texas, baby, and Longhorns.
And they've won again. I say again like it's a surprise.
Well, they're pushing out wins, which is nice to see, especially after the mediocre last couple of years. This could never get going, and as of right now, I mean, they're starting off conference play pretty good. A win's a win, however you look at it. I still think Bouchel's doing too much. I really do. He led the team in rushing. I'm fairly positive again, or at least rushing attempts are tied with Warren. It's like that.
No, well, actually, I was gonna say Warren ran it 16 times and Porter ran it 17 times, and and then Bushnell ran it 13 times.
It's like, why is your quarterback running so much? Like, if it's a scramble, that's different. But if it's like a designed run, like, he's having a hard enough time throwing it. Why are you letting him run? Why not let your playmakers work for you? You got a stud running back. Let him run. It was an ugly game. But I thought defense, again, as weird as it sounds, Texas defense stepped up whenever it needed to, and special teams working that field position. It was a pretty good game, and overall it was ugly to watch, but defense forced some interceptions, and definitely a win's a win.
Here's kind of something that's crazy. Is Maryland, they gave up 51 points in that game. They lost 51-41. Since that game, they have given up a total of 34 points in their next 3 games.
Wow.
So definitely looking better on defense. They got Kansas State this week, and then they get the rival game of OU. But what I would like to say about the Texas game that kind of impressed me, I guess, they ran the ball. They ran the ball 52 times for 141 yards, which is not great. It's 2.7 yards per carry. That's not good, but they ran it 52 times. They passed it 26, so you're going to have that 33% pass, 66% run. That's going to give Texas a chance to win a lot of games if they control the clock. And I put here in my notes also that time of possession, let me see, what was it? It was 40 minutes and 31 seconds to Texas to 19 minutes of Iowa. So, I mean, if you hold the ball for 40 minutes, you're most likely going to win the game. And that's what they did. They just wore them down and kept running and kept grinding and ended up winning the game.
Yeah, and that lets your defense get rested, which, like I said, defense huge again. Stepped up when they needed to. The offense held on to the ball. Granted, they didn't do a lot with it, but held on to the ball for a long period of time. Got the defense rested. So when they came back out, it was nothing to hold down Iowa State.
Yeah, and do you think it's that the defense is that improved, or do you think that their ball control of the offense is what's making their defense look better?
I think so far this year, the defense is that improved. They've done so much for the turnover game across all their games this season. Pick sixes. I mean, this was like the first game they've had. They didn't have a touchdown on defense. It's like, dude, the defense has definitely stepped up. And I know the offense, yeah, they're working, but to me, this is like a Seahawks type game where your defense is your playmakers and your offense is just hopefully going to be able to get enough points to get the win.
I definitely think though this time of possession, keeping that defense off the field, is definitely going to help them out in the long run, because I still think that defense has got a lot of question marks on it, and the best way to keep the other team from scoring is by making their offense sit on the sideline. All right, thanks for checking out another episode of the Uncut Truth, brought to you by Joshua
and Josh.
You can make sure to check us out on social media platforms such as
Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, all the above. Definitely on Facebook, we keep everything going over there as well.
If you got something you want to add to the conversation that we just had, leave it in the comments below. Tell us your opinion. Let us know what you're feeling, what you're not feeling, all that good stuff.
If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. If you're new, subscribe, man. Stick around. We got content every week. This has been the Uncut Truth.